Hello, passengers, and welcome to the Midnight Train, America's second favorite podcast, where we bring the dark to light, where history never dies, and where listener discretion is always advised. We dive into, make fun of, and joke about the creepy and unsolved mysteries of the world, all while bringing you as much information on each topic as we feel necessary. Is that about sum it up? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it depends, if you're having a bad week, it's like whatever. Anyway, sometime. I'm just kidding. Anyway, we are a comedy podcast, or at least we try to be, and try to keep things light because we do talk about some pretty dark stuff. So if you're not into that, no hard feelings. That's completely cool. But if you are, thanks for giving us a chance and welcome aboard. I am your host, the conductor of the cryptic Jonathan Sayer, and with me today, back in the co-host chair, is the Sam Squinch Hunter himself. It's the one, it's the only, Mr. Moody.
Yeah. Cheers for me.
So yes, how are you today, buddy?
I've been better.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no, today sucks. I'm gonna hate everything about it.
Oh, did you get your wee caught in your zipper again?
That would have been preferable.
Jesus Christ. I don't know if that's ever preferable. I don't care what's going on in life. I have done that, and all the men out there, you know what I'm talking about. It's probably one of the worst things you could ever feel.
Well, beg to differ. It's fine.
It's going to be a great show. So listen, if you want to jump on and become a Patreon, that is somebody who produces and supports the show. For $5, you can get all kinds of cool bonus episodes. And we are going to be talking finally about the weird sexual disease that Moody wanted us to talk about.
It's disease. It's plural. Diseases.
Diseases.
Right? It's not. They're not diseases. They're. It's like
inflictions.
Yeah, like
disorders, if you will.
What?
Disorders?
Sure. Yeah, well, I believe that's a good word for them. Disorders, yeah.
Disorders, right. So we're going to be doing that. So if you want to do that, jump on over to the midnighttrainpodcast.com or go to patreon.com/the Midnight Train Podcast. That's right. It's because we're the only one, baby. That's right. So it's just so you guys know. Yeah, it is true. Yeah.
I mean, it'd be pretty shitty. It'd be pretty shitty if there was another one.
Yeah, I'd hunt them down. Anyway, so we're going to save the rest of the business stuff until the end. Thank you guys for being here. Let's get into this amazing, weird story, this tale. And let's turn down the lights, adjust our seats, grab a drink, and let's get, I guess, cold-ish. I don't know. But first, here's a toast to all you beautiful motherfuckers. I'm going to try and pop this with my knife. If I cut myself, you'll know it. Yeah! Wop. I'm not going to make that joke again.
Yeah.
Surprised I didn't get any hate mail for that one.
People have to listen to the show for us to hear
That is not true. All right, so we're taking this beautiful train and all of you amazing passengers to, well, a place, it's the last of the 50 states that I have not been to. It's the only one I have not been to. We're heading to,
really?
Yeah, I've not been to Alaska.
We're going to do this again?
We're going to Alaska.
This whole, look where I've been. I went to this place, and we're going to do that whole thing again.
You know what? I'm proud of my accomplishments, Moody. All right? I'm proud I'm proud of what I've done.
Fuck your accomplishments.
Okay, well, fuck your non-accomplishments.
You can stuff your accomplishments in a sack, pal.
in a bindle.
Hey, whatever.
In a bindle sack.
In a bindle, and then you can fucking hitchhike your ass up to Alaska, and then you can call me, and you can be like, I've been to all 50 states and several other countries because my name's John.
Hey, man, if the shoe fits, I will wear it proudly. But I have not been to. I do want to go though because I hear it's beautiful. Obviously, in certain spots, I know people that have been there and whatnot, and it is considered America's last frontier, right?
And I'm pretty sure they have the highest concentration of serial killers too. Per capita.
Well, maybe we'll talk about that a little bit.
Maybe.
Well, it's also fucking huge. Like the state is fucking enormous.
Huge.
Yeah, it's huge. So it's the 49th state. It is twice the size of Texas. Okay. It hosts 17 of the U.S.'s 20 highest peaks, over half of the nation's federally designated wilderness, which is crazy to think about, and an estimated 100,000 glaciers. Okay. It's also home to a stretch of wilderness where more than 16,000 people have vanished without a trace. Oh, horn at the end.
It's just like a hole and people are falling in it or something?
Yeah, 16,000. Yeah, people, they just don't see it.
It's a deep ass hole.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know all about it. So, sorry. So the Alaskan Triangle, a region encompassing parts of Alaska, the Yukon, and British Columbia, is a location of a profound intrigue and mystery, stretching roughly from Anchorage, okay, to the town of Juneau and up to the remote village of Barrow. Oh boy, also known as
it's Barrow, not Borrow.
It's Barrow. That's what I said. Barrow.
You said Borrow.
It is Barrow.
Barrow.
No, it's spelled Borro.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
You're an asshole.
Okay. Do you know what it was now known as? Because this is what it used to be called.
What it's now? Wait, it used to be called Barrow? It's not called Barrow anymore?
Correct.
Oh, I don't know then. That I don't know.
It is UTQIAG with a little over top of it, VIK.
Oh yeah, you could.
You're pretty close. It Utkayagvik. So Utkayagvik.
That's so much easier than Barrow.
So this area has earned its reputation as a hotspot for unexplained phenomena, including mysterious disappearances, UFO sightings, and other paranormal activities. This report that we're talking about here, it delves into the history, notable incidents, theories, and ongoing investigations related to the Alaskan Triangle. So that's what we're talking about today. And I heard about this topic a while back, just a small little snippet of it. And I was like, what's that? Another triangle. Yeah, boy. So the Alaskan Triangle is not officially a place, but is generally considered to span from Anchorage, like we said, a major city in south central Alaska with approximately 287,145 people, to Juneau, which is the state capital of Alaska, which is hilarious.
Correct.
It only has 31,685 people, and it's the state capital.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably half the people in Alaska.
Well, no, Anchorage has almost 300,000 people.
Oh.
It's just, I don't know. It's just odd to me. It's odd that,
well, I mean, look at New York though, right? Like Albany is the capital of New York. I mean, fucking New York City's got like 16 billion people.
Yeah, that's very true. Yep.
And LA is not the capital of California.
Right. That's very true. Yeah.
So
Utkayagvik is the other little city we talked about, or town. It's a remote town in the far north of Alaska with 4,383 people. So not very big at all. So the Alaskan Triangle encompasses diverse and challenging environments from mountain ranges, including the Alaska Range, the Chukak Mountains, and the Coast Mountains.
Chukak Mountains, eh?
I think it's Chugach, Chugach, right? Chugach.
Nothing about what you're doing is making it sound any better.
Chugach fire! I don't know. No. Glaciers such as the Mendenhall Glacier and the Columbia Glacier, dense forests and rugged terrain, including large expanses of wilderness that contribute to the difficulty of navigation and rescue operations. Obviously, even if you're not from the United States, you probably have heard about Alaska just kind of being this frozen kind of wasteland. You know what I mean? Like it's huge. Again, like we said earlier, it has half of the wilderness in the United States is located in
Federal wilderness.
Federal, correct.
So like parks and federal land and
Right.
stuff like that.
It's
Protected land.
It's
basically.
crazy up there. It's crazy. So the concept,
crazy.
it's crazy, I tell you. The concept of the Alaskan Triangle is influenced by its history of exploration and settlement. Alaska's vast wilderness and harsh climate have always posed challenges for explorers and settlers, right, obviously. However, the modern mythos surrounding the Alaska Triangle began to take shape in the mid-20th century with reports of unexplained phenomena and high-profile disappearances. So the early exploration were with, of course, the native indigenous groups such as the Ayunpiat, the Athabaskan, and the Tlingit.
I like how you say these words and then like you expect me to like back you up.
No,
I have no fucking. I have no idea. You look at me like, yeah, you're like that was right. That was right. I'm like, I fucking know.
Well, I
What's it for, dude?
It's listen, I'm just going to say it with confidence. These groups such as the Inupiat, the Athabaskan, and the Tlingit.
Yeah, no, that I would have never thought that you had no idea what you were talking about.
See, exactly. They have lived in the region for thousands of years with rich traditions and stories about the land. Then there was the European exploration. Russian explorers, the Russians, they arrived. They arrived in Alaska in the 18th century, followed by American exploration and settlement in the 19th and early 20th centuries. So now, this whole thing with this, like I said, I just heard a little blurb about it one day, and I'm just like, I want to check this out. So, in the 1940s and 50s, increased interest in the area became more prominent because it was military activity during World War II and the post-war expansion into Alaska. So during World War II, Alaska played a crucial role as a major United States Army Air Force location. It served as a hub for personnel, aircraft, and airfields in support of the Lend-Lease aid for the Soviet Union, which is kind of neat. I didn't actually know that, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Additionally, it was in Alaska that the Empire of Japan launched a bombing raid and seized United States soil. I didn't fucking know that either.
Neither did I.
That's crazy as shit. Yeah, apparently before they decided to hit Alaska, before they decided to hit Hawaii, they actually attacked and actually took over Japan, I guess. Or not Japan, but Alaska.
Huh.
Yeah, it's wild. As a result, the USAAF was actively involved in combat operations against the Japanese forces. Amidst these wartime activities, reports of mysterious happenings and unexplained disappearances started to capture the attention of the media. In the 70s and the 80s, kind of brought the pop culture and media, it contributed to the, the mystique and mystery of the Alaskan Triangle with a ton of books, documentaries, television programs, and all kinds of shit highlighting the mysteries here. Okay. So we are going to talk about some of these here. So 1950, a guy by the name of Harold Williams, who was a skilled pilot, he just disappeared while flying between Anchorage and Juneau. Despite extensive searches, no trace of him or his plane was found. Some speculate that the weather conditions or navigational issues may have played a role, but they found fuck all about the guy. Okay. Now, again, you have to keep in mind that, Anchorage to Juneau, I mean, there's a lot of, you could go down anywhere.
Ayo.
What were you going to say?
I was saying that's just a whole lot of nothing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean,
you get a little bit off course and go down there. So they're not going to fucking find you.
Right. And this is also in the 50s as well. So it's not like they had the most, technological instruments to help find people at that point in time. They probably just had a plane and were looking out there like, man, I don't see him there. I see no smoke there, Billy. In 1953, a group of 5 aircraft, part of a training flight, disappeared. This one's fucked up. While flying over the Alaskan Triangle. Despite a massive search effort, no wreckage was ever discovered. The case remains unsolved and is often associated with theories of advanced technological or extraterrestrial involvement. Now, this is a little bit different to me because this is 5 different aircraft that were flying together and then just gone. And then nothing. Yeah. They have no idea. So it's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's weird.
Now, have you heard of the Iditarod?
Also, just a reminder: if it's not aliens, bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Yep.
So do you know what the Iditarod is?
Yeah, the dog sled race.
Hey.
They just had it not that long ago, I think.
Okay. So now with this one, it is a dog sled race and it's been going forever. But in 1995 and in 2017, they had a couple of different instances here. So this thing, it goes from parts of the Alaskan Triangle, but it's seen several racers and support teams experience life-threatening conditions and disappearances, sometimes leading to speculation about paranormal causes. So there's been tales of these people either disappearing or seeing things, but also it's fucking super deep fucking ice and snow that could literally just open up and swallow
you up. Yeah.
At any point in time.
And then if a storm comes through, then you're going to be buried and no one's ever going to see you.
Right. And you're done. You know what I mean? Yeah. So with that one, I'm still kind of like, it's the five planes, man. That one's got me. Let's see here. In the year of 2006, Richard Lyman Griffiths gained recognition for developing an innovative wilderness survival cocoon, a creation he was keen to test. So he actually built like a little life suit, I guess you'd say, that you can kind of like go out in the wilderness and kind of bundle up in this damn thing, and it's supposed to like save your ass. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
right.
His opportunity came that summer, and without hesitation, he ventured into the untamed wilderness of southeast Alaska. Unbeknownst to anyone, Richard's disappearance here went unnoticed for over a fucking year. Nobody knew that he was just gone for over a year. Now, could it have been that he's like, listen, it's 2006. I mean, there were cell phones. I don't know about service up there, but could he have been like, listen, I'm going to go up there and, I'll be back. Don't worry about me and the time I'm gone or whatever. You know what I mean? I know what I'm doing. I'm experienced, yada, yada, yada. But for
a year?
Fucking year, dude?
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
I don't hear from like my kids in like, 3 days, and I'm freaking making phone calls. So I don't know. That's odd. So
I can't wait to my kids for 2 days.
So upon thorough investigation, authorities established that he had been dropped off by a bus along the Alaska Highway, where he registered at a lodge in close proximity to the White River. At the lodge, Richard left behind some of his equipment and informed certain individuals of his plan to embark on a camping trip in McCarthy, a quaint little town neighboring the St. Elias National Park. However,
sounds lovely.
It does sound lovely. However, once Richard set off into the rugged terrain, he just never showed up again. So, in other words, he gets dropped off because he wants to go out and like, I've made this thing and this is going to revolutionize wilderness and, people being safe and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to go out and what's the roughest terrain I can think of? Southeast Alaska. And he goes out there, gets dropped off, the bus. Here you go, guy. And he gets out and he's like, all right, well, this is what I'm doing, guys. And it's like in some fucking scene from a movie where he just goes into the forest and just fades away. Never heard from again.
Yeah.
Hey. So while most people believe he was testing his wilderness cocoon, no one bothered to check whether he was okay until several months after.
Maybe since he was testing his wilderness cocoon, they just assumed that he turned into a beautiful wilderness butterfly.
I like that. That makes the story so much better.
And then he just flew away.
Yeah. It's beautiful. You hear that, folks? We could be sensitive. I like that.
Yeah.
Nah, that motherfucker died. This dude is dead. So
I say you, he
did. The Colonel. So given that he disappeared in a region within the Alaska Triangle, of course, he is considered to be a part of the 16,000 people that never made it back. And truthfully,
a lot of fucking people.
I mean, that is a lot of people, dude. Think about that. 16,000. That's a lot. Like, I live in a town.
Isn't that half of Juneau? Isn't Juneau, you say it's like 30-some thousand?
Yeah, it's like 35
like half
or 30.
Of Juneau.
Yeah, it's like for real.
That's half of the population of the capital of Alaska.
Just one day, everyone walks out and half the people are gone. Like Thanos just snapped his fucking fingers. You know what I mean? Like, what the shit?
A fucking rapture.
So now, on September 9th of 2013, experienced pilot Alan Foster disappeared under mysterious circumstances while flying over the enigmatic Alaska Triangle. He was flying a Piper PA 260, which I'm assuming Logan probably knows what that is, under visual flight rules, last fueled at Yakutat. Mm-hmm. And had, yeah, you know, Yakutat, you know.
Yeah, everyone. That's a very famous refueling station.
Correct. I mean, that's where I plan on going when I go to Alaska. I almost shot my beer all over the fucking place. And then he planned on to stop at Cordova if necessary. Okay, so however, just 18 minutes after his takeoff, his aircraft vanished from radar somewhere between Malaspina Glacier and the Gulf of Alaska after descending to about 1,100 feet, which is not very fucking high.
No.
You know, for a plane, I mean, that's high, but that's not high.
Yeah, but is that like a little plane though? That could be like...
It's a Piper,
like
so I'm assuming it is.
Like a little like 2-man type jobby?
I would assume so. Again, I don't know anything about airplanes. So I'm assuming.
They fly. They go in the air.
Yes. That I did know. I did know that. Okay. The Wright brothers kind of did that, who Kitty Hawk is actually here in Ohio. Yeah?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
What do you mean it's not? Kitty Hawk's in Ohio.
Hawk is not. No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Where's it at? Yes, it is. Is it not? Have I been lied to my entire life?
Dude.
Wait a minute. Oh, shit. It's in North Carolina. Yeah. Okay. They were from Ohio, though, right?
They were from Ohio.
Okay.
Yes.
So I got half of it right. God damn it. I swear to God.
I was trying to let you get that one. I was trying to let you get that one for yourself.
I just found that out today. I am today's mini old finding out that the Kitty Hawk is not in Ohio.
And people wonder why other countries think we're so goddamn stupid.
Hey, listen, calm yourself, you hairy back bastard. So
look, now at least everybody knows who the brains of this operation is.
They knew that to begin with.
Yeah, you have proven it many, many times.
Right. And listen, I accept my flaws, Moody. Okay. I know that I may not be a smart man, but I do know what love is. So despite an extensive search, neither Alan Foster or his airplane has ever been found. This disappearance is particularly perplexing given Alan's exceptional flying experience and his meticulous approach to flight planning and communication. So this is what this dude did, and it would have to be something pretty tragic for him not to be able to handle it. So the only clue to his vanishing lies in his unusual location, the mystifying Alaska Triangle. So here, yet we have another guy, experienced pilot, kind of like dots all of his T's and crosses all his I's, and he is. Sorry, every time
someone says that, you ever seen Wayne's World 2?
Mm-hmm.
With the guy where they're trying to get the permit, the dude's got the fucked up eye. He's like, well, we'll just cross our T's and dot our
lowercase J's. Fucking A. Drink up if you're out there, bastard. You know how we do this.
So I always, if that starts to come out of my mouth, I always switch it to lowercase J's.
That's pretty amazing. So again, with this one though, I mean, with airplanes and fucking weather and all this different shit, I think I kind of chalk all these up to just like, I mean, shit happens. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean, who knows? There could be like some 1,200 foot tall Yeti living out in the Alaskan wilderness.
Clearly.
That's just smacking down planes as they go by, like, you know?
Yeah, the plane things always get me because, like, it doesn't take much to fucking mess up something with a plane. Like, as far as you fuck the instruments up or like a fuel line freezes and you're gone, you know, it doesn't take a lot.
It could be a fucking bird. I mean, how many times have you heard about planes, you know, being hit by birds and all of a sudden going down, you know?
Yeah.
Like anything.
Fucking engine gets all jacked up or something.
And if they hit the ground hard enough or hit like trees and shit, they're just decimated, you know? And then all of a sudden a big snowstorm comes because it's fucking Alaska. I was going to say,
and honestly, the way the wind and the weather, even if it's not a snowstorm, but it's essentially like sand dunes, you know, with all the snow. The wind just fucking blow the snow over you, and there you go. They're never going to find you.
Right.
Until 30 years when the wind blows the other way for 5 minutes and someone's like, oh, hey, what's that?
And somebody just happens to be there like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Someone's flying over. The winds have shifted. and someone's flying over the same spot and they happen to look and see there's a fucking plane.
Right. So now Leonard Lane was a 73-year-old World War II veteran. He disappeared on the evening of July 4th, 1995, following a parade in Fairbanks, Alaska. He was last seen taking a walk in the infamous Alaska Triangle, an area that we know is known for mysterious disappearances. Witnesses report seeing him limping, likely due to injuries sustained during the war. He was 73 fucking years old. Let's just be honest here. Okay, I'm not like, being ageist here. I'm just saying at 73, like I'm 40 something and I feel every day like I'm 73 years old. So I imagine he probably had a limp. And plus he was in World War II. You know what I mean? Like the guy fucking fought Hitler and shit, like
fist fought Hitler.
He was there with him.
He challenged him to a boxing match.
Yeah. You know who told me that?
Who told you that?
Oh, it's the guy. You know what I'm talking about. It's this guy with the mustache. He says, yes, I saw him. The one day. He was very nice. He was a very nice man. So here's what happened. Hitler was just doing his thing, being a complete douchebag, right?
Right, correct.
And as he's walking through, this guy was hiding and came out and punched him in the eye.
Oh, no.
Just one punch. That's all it was. And
he punched Hitler in the eye.
And I'm looking up at his eye like, that's awesome. But then Hitler had, him broke both of his legs. So.
Oh, that's with the limp.
So now you know.
Okay.
Okay. So stupid. So anyway, he probably saw some shit. Or who knows? He may not have seen some shit. But anyway, he was old and he was kind of fucked up or whatever, right?
I've seen some things, man.
I've seen some shit. I've seen some
stuff.
So despite extensive search efforts, no trace was ever found of him. And in 1997, he was declared legally dead, but the circumstances surrounding his disappearance remain a baffling, unsolved mystery. Because again, it could have been a fucking polar bear that could have just jumped out and been like, mine, Yeah. I don't know. Shit happens up there.
Some sort of ice crevice.
Yeah, like those motherfuckers are vicious.
Oh, yeah.
Like vicious. They will, they can, I guess they have like a really keen sense of smell. And then they can dig down and so I guess apparently this could be a myth. I don't know. But apparently they have to bury people like further than 6 feet because a polar bear can actually smell more than 6 feet down and will dig it up through the snow and ice and shit. That could be a complete, made up bullshit. I don't know. I am kind of gullible. Shut up. No. So next up is Thomas Anthony Nuzzi. He was a highly regarded nurse known for his extensive travels throughout Alaska, where he took on shifts at various locations. Despite his well-paying job and reliable mode of transportation, he did not have a permanent residence address due to his constant movement. So the guy's all over the place. Okay. For someone with such a transient lifestyle, it was often challenging to pinpoint his exact whereabouts unless he chose to disclose them. So he's just jet setting all over the place, being a badass nurse. This was particularly true in 2001 when communication technology was obviously less advanced. However, in the case of an absent employee such as Nuzzi, an employer would have little difficulty noticing their absence, as ultimately occurred here. So in other words, he may be doing his thing bouncing off, but his boss is like, wait a minute. So while staying at a Super 8 motel in Anchorage, Nuzzi was reported missing.
That was a great motel.
I know.
Old Super 8 in Anchorage, huh?
It's probably the only fucking hotel there. You know what I mean? Let's just be honest here. It's probably the only hotel they have. So he was like, fuck it. It's either that or a fucking igloo. So, whatever. So I
don't know. I'd probably take an igloo over the Super 8 in fucking Anchorage.
I would love to stay in an igloo. I think that'd be so much fun.
Probably. That was a weird noise you just made, by the way.
I was taking a drink and the bottle's empty. So I was like, hey, everybody. So he's
starting a jug band.
Yes. So he was reported missing after he failed to report for work in Bethel, Alaska, just a short flight from his temporary residence. Investigative reports revealed that Nuzzi had been seen purchasing a pack of cigarettes, a lighter, chips, and a soda at a gas station on the evening before he was reported missing. Furthermore, it was noted that he was in the company of a woman at the time. Okay. At a Super 8. She's classy. Upon interviewing the Super 8 motel staff, some people mentioned that a different man was observed in Newsy's room on the same night he disappeared. Although his bicycle and Jeep were eventually located, his whereabouts remain a mystery. Like nobody knows anything that happened.
Sounds like somebody killed his ass.
Yeah, it sounds like he probably got, hooked up with somebody.
Do you think the other man was the pimp?
That's what I'm thinking.
And then something went down. Somebody got killed.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
All of that. So on June 3rd of 2019, Shauna Oman disappeared under mysterious circumstances after leaving her friend's house in Fairbanks, Alaska at around noon.
I thought you were singing.
What?
I thought you were singing a song for a second there.
What? Did you take a gummy earlier?
No.
Oh. Like, how much?
Say that name again. It sounds like you're about to bust into a song.
Shauna Oman?
Yeah.
Shauna Oman. She was in Alaska. Sorry, this is actually about a disappearance. We got to stop that. So following her visit, Shauna's friends, they dropped her off at a Nico River, which was close to her residence where she lived. After Shauna went out of view, her friend assumed that she was safe. However, several hours later, Shauna's roommate contacted the friend she had visited earlier, expressing concern that Shauna had not returned home. Like, what the fuck, bro? After a missing persons report was filed, authorities conducted an extensive search of the area. Despite their efforts, Shauna was never located. As of now, the circumstances surrounding her disappearance still remain a mystery. Her case, of course, adds to this whole, thing about the Alaska Triangle. Now, with this one, it's kind of weird, though, because the friend goes, drops her off, basically kind of watches her go at least toward her house or apartment or whatever the hell it was, and then just leaves, like, okay, she's cool. And then just, a few hours later, her roommate's like, hey, have you seen Shauna? And he's, friend's like, no, I dropped her off. So that one's a little weird to me. Like, I guess potentially somebody could have been like, hiding behind the bushes, or it was the roommate.
Aliens.
You're right. It was aliens.
She was abducted, bro.
Yep.
Easy.
It was
Easy peasy.
Yep. Just like that. So on the day of the 85th edition of the Mount Marathon race, Paul Michael Lemaitre, a 65-year-old marathoner, set out to compete in this challenging event for the first time. The race involved a grueling 3.5-mile run up a thickly forested mountain area with participants having to navigate through creeks along the way. This sounds horrible.
Okay, you know what? If you want to be like a 20-something-year-old, 30-something-year-old, fucking look at me, I'm CrossFit, I run, I do this, blah, blah. That's fine, dude. Do what you got to do.
Go for it, right?
I think it's pretentious, but whatever. I don't understand why at 65 years old, you've lived your entire life, you've worked for the past 40-something years, you finally get to fucking retire and just fucking sit down.
And you want to go to Alaska.
And you're like, you know what? I'm going to go to Alaska and run up a goddamn mountain in the woods in Alaska at 65 years old. Yep. What the fuck is wrong with that guy?
Some people just can't sit still, dude. You know what I mean? And apparently, he actually marathoned all the time. Is that what it's called? Marathoned?
Which is also a terrible life choice.
Why is that a terrible life choice?
What?
I'm not running at all. Like, just
give me one good reason to go out and run like 20 miles.
You're being chased by a bear.
Okay. But if you do it every day just for the hell of it, you're not being chased by a bear.
What if it's the same bear?
What bear?
The bear that's chasing you.
But you're not being chased by a bear is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
if I go outside and run 20 miles just for the fuck of it, I'm not being chased by a bear. I'm just being an asshole.
So, so we're never going to see you at a marathon is what we're saying?
Dude, you'll be lucky. Yeah, maybe at the marathon gas station. I don't know. getting chips in the soda like the other guy was.
he had the right idea, right? Yeah, the other guy had the right idea. So the unexpected disappearance of Lemaitre during the race shocked the local community. While the mountain marathon race had seen its share of challenges over the years, no one could have anticipated such a mysterious turn of events. The last sighting of Lemaitre was by a race steward who recalled seeing him ascending to the turnaround point just 200 feet from the finish line. So not only you're like at the end, 200 feet?
Wait a minute. He said the turnaround point. So right. I don't understand. If it's a turnaround point, how is it only 200 feet from the end of the race?
Well, that's not saying it's the end of the race. It could just be where the finish line is. So they may have to go one way and then turn around and go back the other to get to that kind of.
That's
maybe.
Maybe.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So despite foggy weather conditions on the day of the race, the steward did not perceive any immediate danger for Lemaitre. In fact, when asked for his bib number, Lemaitre responded with 548, indicating that he was still conscious and capable of communication.
I mean, if he's running, he's conscious, right?
However, after this interaction, Lemaitre vanished without a trace. Extensive search efforts involving mountain rescue experts, state troopers, and search dogs yielded 0 results. The community was left bewildered by Lemaitre's inexplicable disappearance. Some even speculated about the possibility of the infamous Alaska Triangle playing a role in the mystery. However, the truth behind the puzzling event remains elusive, leaving everyone to wonder about the fate of the missing marathoner.
It's always weird when somebody sees someone like right before it happens, right? Like this dude's like, yeah, I saw him like 10 minutes ago, and then just like it's incredible to me that something like that can happen in such a quick, like just fucking bow, you know? Like I don't know, it's just weird.
Yeah, and the guy saying the steward, I guess this is one of the guys that's kind of like watching the race or whatever, and he's making sure everyone's good to go. He literally was like, "Hey, what's your number?" And the dude was like 548, you know, and still good to go. Because I mean,
it's clearly like he was fine, he was okay.
Now I say this, and I'm just saying, okay, it's only 3.5 miles. Now that's a lot to me. But they're also
running. Yeah, I mean, I could walk it, but I definitely couldn't run 3.5 miles.
But it's in thickly forested mountain, like up a mountain, basically. Like
you're going up what they said, like up a hill, right?
A mountain. You're going up a fucking mountain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like creeks and all kinds of fucking shit and trees and who knows what. But I mean, the fact that they found
some shit.
Yeah, of course. The fact that they found nothing, like no remnants of anything, I don't know, that seems really weird. But also too, you know what? Sometimes people just fucking take off. You know what I mean? They want to just start anew and say fuck it, and they just dip out. You know?
Yeah, but that's an odd time to do it.
What better time? You know, like, hey, I'm going to do this race in Alaska. And then instead of going right, I'm just going to go left.
Yeah, but see, like, okay, so something like that, I get it. But something like that, like, you would think in that situation that the guy would have to have shit planned, ready to go. Like, you would think that there would be like signs of like a snowmobile or something that would fucking helped him get the hell out of there, like a 4-wheeler or something like that, right? Like, because you're not just making a left instead of a right and then trekking through God knows what kind of wilderness and just being like, yeah, I'll be fine.
Yeah, but you're also assuming that like there aren't other like, I mean, 4-wheelers and shit like that in that area. It's possible that somebody could have been waiting for him and there were tracks there, but there's also tracks everywhere else. You know, I mean, it's not likely. Okay. It's possible, not probable.
Oh, okay. I'll give you that. That's all I'm saying. I feel like they would have found some sort of evidence of that and been like, well, it could have been this because we found this.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
They didn't say anything about that.
Yeah. There's fuck all. There's absolute fuck all.
Yeah.
So on October 11th of 2014, Jael Tierra Hamblin was reported missing after she was last seen in the Trailside Loop area in southern Anchorage, Alaska. The circumstances surrounding her disappearance are mysterious, with some suggesting a connection to the unexplained phenomena of the Alaska Triangle.
I feel like feel like the Alaska Triangle is like the poor man's triangle, right? Because like the Bermuda Triangle
It kind of feels like yeah.
But like you get the Bermuda Triangle and it's like nice weather, you get some islands, it's whatever, right? And then it's like the Alaska Triangle. Like if you're gonna disappear somewhere, you'd want to do it in the Bermuda Triangle, right? You wouldn't want to fucking do it in the Alaska Triangle.
Well, the weather's definitely better.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's kind of like just like the fucking low grade Bermuda Triangle.
It's the cold version, and I don't like.
Yeah.
I love cold. I'd rather have cold.
I do
heat.
too. I fucking hate this goddamn weather.
Yeah, this shit sucks. So prior to her disappearance, Hamblin had dinner with her roommate Kendra Vincent Estrada. Later that evening, Hamblin expressed her desire to go out again while her roommate opted to stay in and sleep. Reports indicate that Hamblin was feeling upset due to relationship issues with an unnamed man. In an attempt to seek solace, she reached out to another man via text, and it seems they made plans to meet up. Tragedy struck when Estrada couldn't connect with Hamblin on the phone. It is unknown what happened on the night when the two left, but given that this is the Alaska Triangle we're talking about, anything could have happened. Apart from her purse and vehicle that were later recovered, there is no trace of Hamblin's remains or whereabouts.
Sounds like it could have been a love triangle. What?
An Alaskan love triangle?
Oh.
You see what I did there? So on the morning of January 26th of 1950, Robert Espy, a dedicated master sergeant in the U.S. Air Force, tenderly embraced his wife before departing for what was expected to be a routine journey. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He kissed her on the cheek and said, "You better have my flapjacks ready when I get home."
Gave her a smack on the ass and headed out the door.
And went, "Hey-oh!" And he just kept on going.
Mercy.
Little did they know that it would be the final time they would see each other. As Robert and the 43 other passengers prepared to board the Douglas C-54D Skymaster, which sounds like a big-ass plane. I have no idea about planes, but it sounds huge.
Yeah, I don't know. It's only 43 people getting on there.
Yeah, but it's a Skymaster. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It sounds...
doesn't mean shit.
I don't know. It sounds big to me. Shut up.
It's just a name, bro.
Yeah, but it sounds big.
So?
Like the word moody.
That sounds stupid.
So the atmosphere was charged with excitement and anticipation for the upcoming journey to Montana. So they're flying to Montana, all right? And I'm assuming this is some sort of, they said it was a routine journey, so this is probably something Air Force related where like him and, other military people are like going out there. However, what followed was an inexplicable event that would leave a lasting mystery in the history of aviation. Once airborne, the routine communication between the aircraft and ground operators abruptly stopped, sending distress signals to those waiting at the airport. As moments turned into hours, anxiety and concern mounted for the passengers who were expected to arrive in Minnesota to reunite with friends and relatives. Despite the frantic efforts of over 70...
We're going to Montana.
That's what I thought too. It says journey to Minnesota. Maybe they were stopping off in Minnesota to go to...
Maybe then going to Montana.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's what I would assume. Despite the frantic efforts of over 75 Canadian and U.S. aircraft assigned to search for the missing plane, the Douglas Skymaster and the remains of the passengers were never found. The perplexing disappearance took place within the infamous Alaska Triangle. And of course, we know what happens there. The lack of closure and unanswered questions surrounding the incident cast a haunting shadow over the families and aviation experts, leaving them with a sense of loss that would endure for decades to come. So this is 44 people on a assuming big ass plane. Again, I have no idea.
So I'm actually looking at it right now. It is a large plane. Is Douglas? Did you say it's a Douglas C-54 Skymaster?
Yeah, C-54D.
Well, okay.
The D stands for Dick.
It's a 4-engine transport aircraft used by the U.S. Army Air Forces in World War II and Korea. Like the Douglas C-47 Skytrain, Skymaster was derived from a civilian airliner, the Douglas DC-4. Besides transport of cargo, the C-54 also carried presidents, prime ministers, and military staff.
See? There you go.
So,
all right.
Yeah. They built 1,170 of them between 1942 and 1947.
Well, this one didn't make it back. So, yeah. So the Alaska Triangle has been notorious for targeting not only ordinary individuals, but also powerful figures. One of the most notable incidents involved the disappearance of Hale Boggs. Now, this guy...
No way, dude. There's a Hale Boggs Bridge in Louisiana.
Well, good for you. Do you know who he is?
he was like a governor or some shit, wasn't he?
He was the House Majority Leader.
Okay.
And another guy named Nick Begic or Begic, a freshman.
I don't know that. There's no bridge for that guy.
It's a freshman congressman he's a freshman congressman from Alaska, along with their
fucking
aides.
freshmen.
Yeah.
They were hazing the shit out of that guy.
Yeah, well, it didn't turn out well. Their ill-fated journey took them over Anchorage and Juneau in Alaska, but their small plane mysteriously vanished midair. The government initiated an extensive search and rescue mission, but despite months of efforts, no bodies or plane wreckage were found, leaving their fate shrouded in mystery. It's widely believed that the enigmatic forces at play in the Alaska Triangle played a role in this tragic disappearance. So now so this is, you're talking about the House Majority Leader, okay? He's kind of a big deal when it comes to, government and stuff like that. And so I'm assuming they probably sent a bunch of people out there to look for him. But if all these planes are disappearing and they go out and keep looking for, like, say, one plane after another, why are they not finding any wreckages from any of the preceding planes? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
I get it. I don't know.
Yeah, you'd think you'd find something.
At some point you'd find something.
Yeah, even if it was from the 50s or whatever, like you would think that you would find something. So that is kind of weird.
One of those old ones or something like that.
Yeah.
Especially with the amount of planes that are just disappearing, man.
So now let's talk about some theories and explanations of what could possibly have happened up there.
I like theories.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much explanations, but I like theories.
Well, I'll try to keep the explanation to a minimum and just give the theories.
Okay. That's great. That's good.
So we got harsh weather conditions. Of course, it's Alaska. So it's subject to extreme weather, including rapid changes in visibility, high winds, and severe cold, which can lead to navigational errors and accidents, like you actually mentioned earlier. Yeah. There's geological activity like earthquakes, volcanic activity can cause sudden shifts in terrain and, open that bitch up like a fucking pit at a metal. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. I've been listening to a lot of metal lately. I apologize.
Oh, good.
Also, environmental conditions contributing to disappearances and accidents. And then there are some magnetic anomalies that could be potentially, be the cause. Some researchers have suggested that magnetic anomalies could interfere with navigational instruments, causing pilots and sailors to become disoriented. Okay,
yeah, that makes sense.
I can see that.
They say that about a lot of places. They say that about the Bermuda Triangle too.
Maybe there's some sort of thing with that. Maybe it's aliens, or maybe it's just a big fucking magnet, at the core of the earth that's just fucking everything up. I don't know. Who knows?
It's possible.
Now, there's also possible UFO sightings. Okay. So the region has reported numerous UFO sightings, leading some to speculate that extraterrestrial activity may be involved in the disappearances. Mm-hmm. Then there's the theory of time warps and dimensional portals. Mm-hmm. Some theories propose that the area could be a hotspot for anomalies that cause time warps or dimensional rifts, leading to unexplained phenomena. And then my favorite, mythological entities. Local folklore includes stories of mythical creatures and entities that are said to inhabit the region, adding a supernatural dimension to the narrative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So now there have been some theories that suggest that the government or military testing have gone on here, including experimental aircraft or advanced technology, might be responsible for some of the incidents in the area. Okay, which I don't know. What are they blowing shit out of the sky? And I don't know. That seems weird to me.
Yeah.
Then ongoing research and surveillance efforts by government agencies could contribute to the mystery, either through covert operations or by inadvertently causing disruptions. So with that one, they're just saying there could be government agencies out there kind of doing research or something, and then all of a sudden they fuck something up and a lot of people get disappeared. I don't know. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me either.
Yeah,
but remember, they are close to Russia. Just saying.
Yeah,
I'm not going to blame the Russians, but I mean,
but where they're at isn't really that close to Russia. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's closer to Russia than it is Texas.
It is. Yeah, I guess it is. I don't know. I need to see like a representation of where this triangle actually is. I know you explained it, but I just kind of
yeah. We'll post up a picture for everybody too. So Alaska state troopers were actively involved in search and rescue missions in the region, employing advanced technology and extensive manpower to address and investigate the disappearances. Then private investigators were actually sent out. Some people actually had them. And individuals conducting independent investigations into the mysterious occurrences in the Alaska Triangle. And none of them found nada, a zip, a zero, fuck all.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's good, yeah.
Then, so there's also scientific research that goes on up there too. Researchers continue to study the region's geology and environmental conditions to better understand the natural phenomena contributing to the area's mystery. Because, I mean, yeah, at the drop of a hat, dude, it can just fucking change up there. Like it is so, you can't really judge what the hell's going to happen up there, you know? And I only know this from research and stuff. And then ongoing investigations into UFO sightings and reports in the Alaskan Triangle aim to determine whether there is a link between these sightings and the reported disappearances.
This is saying that over 20,000 people have vanished in the Alaska Triangle.
Well, maybe this is an old article I read. I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure that if you look in 10 different articles, you're going to get 10 different things.
That's the problem, yeah. I just grabbed the one that I saw the most.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, it's crazy.
So does it give an overall, like, I guess, mile area distance?
It does. I just looked at it. Hold on. It just said it is 500,000 square kilometers. if you look at it on a map, it is insanely humongous.
That's probably half of the fucking state.
I mean, it extends into fucking Canada, almost. Like part of Canada's in it.
It's the Canadians. They're doing it.
I think so. That's probably
fucking Canucks. They act all nice and shit.
It literally goes from like, I mean, in this fucking map, it looks like it goes from goddamn Washington State. Even though that's
okay. That is a huge.
No, I mean it's not that far. It's not that far down, but it does like part of it goes into the Yukon Territory and shit.
Yeah.
Like it's huge, dude. This is a humongous triangle,
right? And they're saying that because and you're up in like. I think it's just happenstance. I think people go up there and they're not prepared. Not even not prepared. Shit just fucking happens. Yeah. You know? And then all of a sudden, for 500,000 kilometers, dude, that's huge. That is a huge area. So now,
trying to see what that is compared to Bermuda Triangle.
So now what if, and you kind of touched on this earlier when I loved the foreshadowing with that too.
Oh, really?
What about
what?
What if it were a serial killer?
Oh, that's a lot of people.
Well, I'm not saying they killed all 16,000 or 20,000 people or whatever. However, I'm sure a lot of our listeners out there, especially the active, ones that are super enthralled with like, true crime and shit like that, probably recognize the name Robert Hansen.
Okay, real quick before we get into this.
Mm-hmm.
The Alaska Triangle was, what did I say, 500,000 square kilometers?
Correct.
The Bermuda Triangle's total area range is between 1,300,000 and 3,900,000 square kilometers.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of puts things in perspective a little bit, right?
So, like, this Alaska Triangle looks fucking gigantic. But apparently it's just, like I said, it's the poor man's Bermuda Triangle.
So have you heard of Robert Hansen?
I have, yes.
Okay. Also known as the Butcher Baker. So Robert Hansen.
Candlestick maker.
I don't think he had that title.
No.
Yeah. Okay. That was a different guy. That might have been his brother. I don't know. I didn't see it. Yeah. Right. So he was born in Estherville, Iowa. Esther. Not Esther, okay. Esther. So Esther.
Yeah, Esther. That's Esther.
Is it Esther?
Yes.
It looks like Esther. I'm going to say Esther from here on out just because it's funny.
Did you know that Kitty Hawk is actually in North Carolina?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I found out on this show. Thank you. Yeah.
Good. That's good.
It's teaching motherfuckers. That's right.
Yeah.
So he was born in 1939. His parents were Christian, a Danish immigrant, and that's his father's name, and Edna Hansen. His father, with whom he had a difficult relationship, was very strict and often made him work long hours at the family-owned bakery. During his childhood, he was often bullied for his stutter and severe acne. That sucks.
Today, Junior.
In school, he had no close friends. After graduating high school in 1957, he enlisted in the U.S. Army Reserve, where he became a skilled marksman, serving 1 weekend a month and working at the bakery the rest of the time, sometimes volunteering as an assistant drill sergeant at the police academy in the town of Pocahontas. Ooh.
Oh.
In 1960, he fell in love and married a local girl. On December 7th that same year, he burned down the school bus garage of the local high school, but was caught when a friend turned him in. So, hey, I'm going to get married, and then burn that motherfucker down.
Happy anniversary, baby.
Look what I did for you. Yeah, I ain't got money for a ring, but you see that cloud? That's from me, baby. That's a love cloud. That's right. So obviously he was caught. So during his 3-year sentence in prison, he got divorced. So that didn't seem like a good idea.
He spent 3 years in prison for burning down like a fucking bus barn.
Yep. And lost his fucking wife over it. So after only
it wasn't going to last anyway.
After only 20 months, Hansen was paroled, even though he had been diagnosed as having, quote, infantile personality. So
I know a lot of people like that.
That's not good. In 1963, he remarried a woman with whom he had 2 children. In 1967, after several jail sentences for petty theft, he moved to Anchorage, Alaska with his family. Well liked by people who knew him, he became an avid hunter, breaking several hunting records. His records were nullified after the shit that came out.
I would hope so.
His weapons of choice were rifles or bow and arrow. The year after his last record breaking, he was convicted.
As opposed to what else would you hunt with?
A staff. Slingshots.
It's like fucking killing bears with fucking Bowie knives.
Look at me and my slingshot. So the year after his last record breaking, he was convicted of raping a prostitute and attempting to rape a housewife, but only served 6 months in prison. That's because he kind of knew everybody in town. Everybody kind of knew him. He was known as whatever. And he basically said, nah, it wasn't me. And they were like, well, we got to do something. We can't just let you, you know what I mean? So they put him in for 6 months.
Fucking scumbag.
Oh, yeah. In 1977, he was imprisoned again for stealing a chainsaw and was diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
What the fuck?
That was good. That sounded almost identical to it.
What the fuck?
That's pretty good.
Dude, I didn't know Chainsaw got abducted.
I know. Well, from Robert Hansen, which is totally crazy.
That's what I mean. Like, that's crazy. Like, he never told us about that.
Yeah, he keeps a lot of secrets. So he was released. He was prescribed lithium, but wasn't required by law to actually take it. So they were like, listen, here's some medication for you, buddy. Bye-bye. And he just took it and threw it across the room. He was released. I used to do
that shit with my Ritalin when I was a kid.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I loved taking my Ritalin.
God, I always cheeked it and then spit it out on the way back to class.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. I never took it. I wasn't taking that shit.
It helped me.
Fuck them.
Wow. He was released after only a year now. Okay. And in the early 1980s, he got more time for stealing a chainsaw than he did for
raping
allegedly raping a prostitute and then attempting to rape a housewife.
What's rape mean?
I was burping at the same time. So, what?
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. So, in the early 1980s, he reported a burglary on his home, which he had actually staged. With the money he got from the insurance company, he opened up a bakery of his own and established himself as a well-liked family man. In January of 1982, he bought himself a Piper Super Cub bush plane. There's that Piper plane we were talking about earlier. Even though he had been denied a license due to his medications. They were like, he goes in to get his license, like, no, listen, I want to buy an airplane. And they're like, no, you're fucking nuts. He's like, it's fine.
Well, I mean, it's fine.
It's fine.
I mean, you can buy a car. You can buy a car without a driver's license. So, I mean,
yeah, I guess. But mean, the car doesn't like go up in the air and fly and shit. I don't know. It just sounds dangerous as shit to me.
I mean, it's the same as fucking buying a car without a license and then driving around all drunk, smashing shit up.
That is true. Neither of those are good, folks. Don't do either of those things.
No, I'm not. I mean, I hope you don't think I was like
condoning
endorsing that.
He's like, nah, I don't get a fucking airplane. Just go get a car. Get drunk.
Jesus,
drive
man.
crazy. Yeah. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
So during later questioning, Hansen claimed that starting in 1973, after finishing his rape sentence, the 6-month one, he became a serial rapist, picking up prostitutes from Anchorage's Tenderloin district, yikes, and taking them by his bush plane to the wilderness.
There's a lot of words in that sentence that should not be in the same story as somebody raping somebody.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah.
Tenderloin, bush.
It's like, there was a strip club up there called like the Bush Club or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's called the Tenderloin
You've never been to Alaska, John.
Damn it. So he basically said that he would take these ladies and he would take them out into the wilderness in this fucking plane he has and would rape and torture them. He later claimed that the ones who complied, who went along with it, he would just take back to Anchorage alive. And those who didn't, well, he got rid of. He fucking killed them. From 1973 to 1983, he abducted and raped at least 30 women and then let them go. Okay. At least 17 women picked up during the years of 1980 and 1983 didn't fucking make it. After raping them, he released them in the woods and hunted them with a hunting rifle. So he literally was, what's that movie called? The fucking...
it's Surviving the Game, dude.
Yes.
With Ice-T.
And Rutger Hauer.
Yep.
Yeah, that's basically what he's doing right here. Hunting the greatest game, I guess. I don't know. It's fucking gross.
The most dangerous game.
Yeah, it's gross. So after...
that's not even... And no offense to you ladies out there, but like... That's not like, how is that even a challenge for him? Like, he clearly wasn't doing it for the challenge because he's just like picking up hookers, flying them in a plane and throwing them out in the wilderness.
After raping them.
Like, exactly. They don't have anything to help them.
It's not like he gave them a gun.
Yeah, like, there's no sporting chance, if you will, for that. Like, what is the point of that?
He's just a dick. He's just a fucking horrible human being.
Was it just like mind games? Like, I'll give you a chance to live if you can make it out of here? Yeah, knowing full well that they had no chance. In the Alaskan wilderness.
So even if you did get away from him and his maniacal ass and a fucking rifle, you still have to contend with the fucking wilderness.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. And who knows how cold or shitty it is or what he gave them. You know what I mean? Like one way or the other, these people were not meant to make it out. So it's super fun. Right. Super fun. So his crimes first became known in 1982. When the body of exotic dancer Sherry Morrow was found near the Nick River by 2 off-duty police officers. It took 2 weeks to identify her. Yikes. A spent .223 shell casing was found in the dirt near the body. 2 years prior to that, 2 other women had been found in similar circumstances. The first was found by construction workers near Eklutna Road and has never been identified. That's fucked up. So, they still don't know who that person is. Like to this day. The investigating officer nicknamed her Annie. The second was a topless dancer named Joanne Messina. So now in June 13th of 1983, a young prostitute named Cindy Paulson was spotted with a handcuff on her wrist by a trucker. He gave her a ride to a motel where she waited for her pimp and then called the police. I guess that's how you do it.
What? I don't understand. I mean,
I don't.
Okay.
I get maybe.
What the hell was that? As that trucker, are you just like, ain't none of my business, but I'll take you where you gotta go? Like, what do you like? Clearly something happened.
Yeah, right? I would.
And
she couldn't have been composed at this time. You know what I mean? She's probably like, this motherfucker, you know what I mean? Freaking out or whatever. And the trucker's just like, well, you said to bring you here. Bye-bye. Best
of luck to you.
Yeah, I'll be seeing you. So when an Anchorage police officer, Greg Baker, arrived, which is weird, his last name's Baker, Paulson told him how a man, Hansen, the guy here, had offered her $200 for oral sex, handcuffed her, and forced her at gunpoint into his car. He then drove her to his house, okay, because he's married at this point and has children, okay? Well, they were vacationing in Europe at the time. So seems like a logical thing to do when, the wife and kids are out. Hey, let's fucking brutally rape and torture a young lady, which is exactly what he did. So afterward, he drove her to an airport and put her in his bush plane, presumably to take her to the wilderness and kill her as well. While he was loading it with supplies, she took the fuck off. She took her chance and bonked out. I know. This is a bad bitch. I love her. She's awesome. So Paulson made a formal statement to the police and not only identified the make and color of the plane, but also remembered its tail number. So she's on it. Hansen turned out to be the owner and was identified by Paulson as her attacker. But two of Hansen's friends gave him a false alibi for the night of the attack.
What?
So he was never fucking charged for this.
What?
They literally could have had them if they would have just... Well, the problem is, again... it's stupid because we all know this is to be true, but when you talk about sex workers and things like that, everyone kind of like looks down on them and oh, she's making this up or, oh, well, she's a prostitute, so we can't believe what she has to say. And in reality, this guy is fucking a piece of shit. I think it's bullshit that, that because of her profession, she is looked down on as less of a person and not a reliable source. And so this motherfucker gets out.
How did, my thing is she had all that information about the plane, right? Like, were they just like, well, he could have just taken you for a ride in his plane and, you're all mad because you didn't get no blah, 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 blah. Right? But here she is with a handcuff stuck to her goddamn hand.
Mm-hmm.
And, the trucker's like, dude, I picked her up. She looks crazy. She has a handcuff stuck to her hand. I don't know. You know what I mean? False alibis or not, man. That's something you got to kind of be like,
look into it. At least
probably look into this. At least look.
And what about the friends? He go to the friends like, dude, this is bullshit. I paid this chick and we were getting into it. And now she's trying to ring me out because she needs more money. And they're like, oh, how dare she? You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. I'm sorry. If you ever came to me and we're like, look, bro, they're going to come to you asking about what happened. Just tell them I was with you. I want to be like, fuck you? How's that sound?
Nah, you'd cover for me. Quit it.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you would.
Not if you were accused of raping and trying to kill somebody.
I guess that would make things a little different, right?
If it was something little, I'd be like, I'd be like, robbed a bank. If you were robbed a bank or something, I got you, bro.
You get a call from Moody in the middle of the night. Hey, I was with you the last 2 days. They're like, what the fuck? Why? What happened? Is your wife mad at you for something? No, this chick says that I raped and was trying to kill her and shit like that. I'd be like, click, click.
Yeah, right? Click. What kind of fucking people are these friends of his is what I want to know. How many people have they fucking killed?
Yeah, that's fucked up. Who knows? They may have been a part of the game and just never got busted for it.
Saying.
I mean, rich people do rich shit. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's fucked up. So obviously he gets away with this whole thing. And less than 3 months later, on September 2nd, the body of another victim of Hansen, Paula Golding, turned up and the case was brought up again. The Alaskan investigators began looking into Hansen again and then contacted the FBI, who sent in their profiler, a guy who we're going to cover very soon because he's kind of my hero, the one and only John Douglas. He is, if you guys don't...
the guy that talks to dead people on the TV show?
No.
What the fuck was that guy's name? Is that not John Douglas?
No, John Douglas is the guy. So if you've ever seen, what the fuck was that show on HBO where he was the original criminal profiler and that kind of coined the term.
I know who he is.
Yeah, he's...
Oh, John Edward. That's the guy.
No, John Douglas.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
wrong
he's
John.
awesome.
Sorry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of you motherfuckers out there.
A lot. Yeah. He's just an amazing person and has done so much for the criminal investigation and stuff. He's just amazing. What the fuck is his name? Mindhunter. He's who Mindhunter was actually based off of, the TV show.
Right.
So if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's a great show. Seriously. So he profiled the killer as having low self-esteem, a history of rejection by women, and being an experienced hunter. He also correctly predicted that he would take souvenirs from his victims and, this is awesome, would have a fucking stutter.
Wow.
We know a guy that has a stutter who is a pretty good fucking hunter. He kind of fucks up his relationships constantly. You know what I mean? Seems like we kind of know we know somebody. So when the two men who gave Hansen an alibi for the night that he attacked Cindy Paulson confessed that they had been lying, the investigators said, okay, now we're going to focus on this motherfucker. So they did actually come out and say, listen.
That's too, you know what? That's too little too late.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
I'm sorry.
Like, why would you cover it for him?
And I hope they got charged.
They probably did, for sure. At least some sort of perjury or something like that.
Like impeding a fucking police
investigation.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they brought him for, isn't it actually a crime just lying to police officers?
Yeah, something like that. It is. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you can actually get caught up on charges for lying to the police. So,
it's like impeding an investigation.
Yeah, that's got to be what it is. But keep in mind, folks, they can lie to you all day long.
Yep.
All day.
And contrary to popular belief, they don't have to identify themselves as police officers.
Yeah, they can lie to you constantly. So just remember the term lawyer. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Just shut your goddamn mouth.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Right. So they gave an alibi, or they came in and said that their alibi was false. And then they started focusing on our boy here. So they brought him in for questioning while executing search warrants on his house, plane, and cars. In his house, they found a collection of weapons, including the .223 Ruger Mini 14 he had used to commit the murders, IDs and jewelry taken from his victims, and an aviation map with several marked locations.
Pum, pum, pum.
This is the shit that drives me nuts about these fucking horrible people, is that
because they don't think they're going to get caught. They think they're smarter than everybody else.
They think they're so fucking smart, and then they do stupid shit that gets them hemmed up immediately. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to do something this dumb, and again, I'm not condoning murder in any way, shape, or form, but in any kind of thing, I mean, I guess that's why they're criminals, I guess, because they think they're smarter than everybody else, that narcissism about them. But if you're going to do something like that, fucking get rid of everything.
Like, I don't understand why you keep it, or at least fucking hide it well. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but it's all tokens.
Don't leave it out where it's easily found.
Yeah, it's tokens and shit, man. So he probably went back, had it hidden in his fucking little trophy room he had or whatever, went in there and jerked off while his fucking wife was asleep. You know, like, oh, I know what I did. Because he's fucking, they're turds. He's a turd.
Yep.
So an FBI forensic lab matched the shell casings found near the victims to the Mini 14 found in Hansen's house. He made a plea bargain.
They let him fucking plea bargain?
Well, this also comes down to if the prosecution decides to take you in and go to trial, that is going to be expensive as shit. But if you can get a suspect to admit it, but say, hey, I want this, and I'll tell you everything you need to know, and then it's slam dunk, he just gets put in jail. They do that, honestly. I think it's like 90% of all trial cases.
Well, I mean, I get that to a point, but like, what? I don't know.
Well, I don't think they knew the extent of what he had done at this point in time.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think at this point in time, they kind of know that Cindy Paulson
they should, if they found all the driver's licenses and all the other shit.
That's true too. I don't know. I think maybe it was just easier just to say, fuck it. So I don't know. He was charged with the 4 murders whose victims had been found and with the abduction and rape of Cindy Paulson, and agreed to confess to all of them, give details about his victims, and show the burial sites marked on his map in exchange for serving his sentence in a federal prison and avoiding media publicity. Okay, so obviously, I don't think death sentence was on there, but he wanted to go to a federal prison as opposed to what, a state prison?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's weird.
I don't know.
So he showed the police 17 of his burial sites. So in other words, they charged him with 4 and then the rape, but then he was like, oh, by the way, there's 13 more. Like, what the fuck?
That's why he took the fucking plea deal, because if he would have
if
he would have all that before, they would have been like, yeah, we're not going to give you any kind of deal.
Yeah.
We're going to fucking bury your ass.
Yeah, I don't know if Alaska has the death penalty or not, but they probably would have made one for him.
They'll just take him out in the fucking wilderness.
Yeah.
Fucking strip him down and let him go.
So he showed the police 17 of the burial sites, but refused to help them with the other 4. So we're talking 21 total. It has been theorized that he wouldn't confess to killing them, but because they were neither prostitutes nor strippers, and he couldn't justify their murders to himself.
Oh.
So you're justifying prostitutes and strippers and murdering them because what?
Well, obviously, because they're less than human.
That is so fucked. God, what a dick.
I mean, your brain has to, I can't imagine how your brain has to work to rationalize and justify something like that.
Dude, okay. Story.
Like just because of what they do, you know what I mean? That's like me like looking at you and be like, oh, you're a cook, you're not worth shit, I'm just going to kill you.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And rationalizing it that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, no one's going to miss him.
I was at a, obviously, not obviously enough, but ironically enough, I was in a strip club with a friend who he is the king of strip clubs. And I'm not a big fan of strip clubs at all. It's kind of like, I mean, they're cool, whatever. You know, you obviously get to see women. You know what I'm saying? Boobs. So anyway, so we're there, and then all of a sudden, like some friends of his or cousins or some family or whatever like that is a guy and a girl, so brother and sister, and they're there, and we're hanging out.
Was it around here?
Yeah, oh yeah, it was here in Cleveland.
Which one? What was it?
I don't want to say the name. I don't want to say the name.
Come on.
No, I don't want to say the name because they were always amazing to me. And well, hold on. Let me get to.
No, you don't have to. I'm not asking you the person. I'm asking you the strip club.
Diamonds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And listen, if you guys are out for a good time, go to Diamonds and tell them we said hi. Because yeah.
Are they still around?
I think so. I don't know. I have no idea. Dude, I haven't been to one in freaking 15 years, so I have no clue.
Really? It's been longer than that for me.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm not even like paying attention to anything that's going around. I'm having a conversation with the cousin, the girl cousin. And she starts going off about how it's disgusting how these girls are doing this. And it's whatever, just totally demoralizing
while
them.
She's sitting at the strip club.
Exactly. While she's sitting there. And I started going, well, a lot of these women, they actually like pay for their education. They pay for, they're doing things to better themselves by doing this because they make a fucking load of money.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? They make so much money. And I'm like, saying this, and then she starts getting real snippy. And I was like, listen, you don't have to be a bitch about it to me. You know what I mean? Well, she jumped up and went and told her brother. And I didn't know this. I just thought she was huffy and puffy and left. And then all of a sudden, brother comes in and starts attacking me. But he was drunk off his ass and like went to swing and like missed and like landed on me. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Well, we knew everybody there, including the owner. Well, the owner comes up. I don't know if I should even say this or not, because I don't even know if he owns the place or not. We'll just say a guy who I think used to own the place choked the dude out because he was on top of me. And the dude shit himself. And I just stood up. I was like, dude, I don't know what the hell happened. That was totally unprovoked. I said, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, I apologize. And I was always cool. Yeah, I didn't go there often, like I said, but they knew us because of the band and stuff like that back in the day. So anyway, that's what happened with that. But the fact that she's sitting there, like literally sitting in the strip club and
in a strip club,
just demoralizing these girls while they're doing this. I was just like, I didn't call her a bitch. I said, you don't have to be a bitch about it.
Right.
Which I know I'm splitting hairs there, but whatever. So anyway, that's my little story.
You can be acting like a bitch about something without being a bitch.
Right. And and I kind of said it lightheartedly too. I was like, well, you don't have to be a bitch about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. But she was just like berating them. And I'm just, I don't know. It got on my skin. I'm like,
was she ugly?
I honestly don't remember. I don't think so. But now I will say she was a bitch. Okay. Yeah. I'll say that right now. She was a bitch. You a bitch.
I don't get it, man. Like, no one, like, that's like the only job that people are like, I don't know. Like, who gives a fuck what they do? Like, it's no worse than any other goddamn job out there, man.
In all honesty, dude, and I've mentioned this before, I'm pretty sure that I believe that prostitution should be legalized because if drugs can be legalized and all this other shit, it's way
safer, man.
Mandate it, have government regulations with it. And I mean, dude, Amsterdam and shit like that, so many different other countries, they have it legalized and they have a a formatted kind of process that they use for everything. And the girls, guys, whatever, they all get checked. It's way safer. It's just way safer. It's just better instead of sneaking out and doing this. And then all of a sudden some guy
in
comes
a shitty part of town where,
right.
Whatever,
and then,
who knows,
and meeting up with a fucking piece of shit like this guy. You know what I mean? So
at least like if it's regulated, like you have places you can go and like, basically it's one of those things like you record, you have a record, like, okay, like if something like this, so say if it was legalized and something happened to one of these girls who was like a hooker or whatever, and they had some sort of record of she was with this guy, she was with this guy, she was with this guy,
and then something
last
happened
night, and then something happened to her, you at least have some sort of trail.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
You can narrow it down to a couple of guys, possibly at least somewhere to start. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, not even that, but aside from that, should I say, but if you have a legal kind of, program for this, dare I say program, but like a government program for this, that's designated for it, then you're going to get clean bill of health. Where you got to get tested and stuff, and whether you're, it just makes sense to do that. And we'll never do that because unfortunately our country was based off of people that still believe that sex is a bad thing. You know what I mean? They still think sex is bad and it's not, it's awesome. Yeah. We all, if you're listening right now, you've probably had sex and you probably love it. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy to me that they can still kind of shun that whole aspect of it. I was actually surprised when I heard Oregon completely not legalized, but decriminalized all drugs.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I know there's a couple of countries that have tried that. They've decriminalized like cocaine and heroin, like all that shit. And they took it's like basically one of the models where they'll take all the money they used to fight like drug crime and they put all that money back into
like infrastructure and shit.
Well, no, programs to help people with addiction and things like that.
There you go.
Like they opened up, places to like whatever they're called, like rehab centers.
Yeah.
And they started programs to help people with addiction and stuff like that instead of arresting people constantly and throwing them in jail because they keep getting caught buying fucking cocaine from somebody or something like that.
Right. Because if you are a fucking adult, you're above the age of 18 and you decide, hey, I want to sleep with this prostitute, that there could be potential things that could happen, right?
Your pee will burn.
Correct. Just like I'm an adult and I want to take this specific drug. You probably know that's, I guess they say everything in moderation, although some of them are not.
Yeah, no, not at all.
There's some that you should never try, folks. But if you decide that, hey, I want to do that, then you are taking I guess you're an adult and you're making an adult decision, and you should know and expect a negative outcome from something that's horrible. You know what I mean? Like,
but at the same time, you should also have those programs available to you
for addiction. If
it goes down that road, and you know what I'm saying.
Correct. Yeah, I know there's a lot of places that you can actually walk into, and they have like Narcan available, or you can swap out old needles and shit like that. And a lot of people are like, all you're doing is just allowing people to go and do that. No, what we're trying to do is save lives, because people are it's just like banning guns. People are going to murder if they want to murder. They're going to find a fucking way. People are going to do drugs. And it doesn't matter what drugs they are if they want to do drugs. Alcohol, look at prohibition. If people want to drink, they're going to drink. If people want to sleep with somebody, they're going to sleep with someone. But wouldn't you rather have everything kind of mandated and legalized to a point where it's taken care of and that nobody is going to get hurt from it?
Yeah.
And it just makes sense to me. But then again, what do I know? I didn't know that Kitty Hawk was in North Carolina. So,
well, I mean, and at the same time, though, like if you look at it, like if you start legalizing and decriminalizing things like that, you take a lot of the other inherent dangers out of it, right? You take out, you're not going to take out all of them, but like that gets rid of a lot of the pimps, right? Because you have somewhere where these girls can go work, as opposed to some dude who's working out of some shit hotel room in the middle of the ghetto doing whatever, right?
Slapping her around and shit like that.
Right.
Yeah.
They actually have somewhere. And like I said, you're not going to get rid of all of that. There's still going to be that. At some
of
point.
course.
But like it gives them an option,
Right.
right? And the same with drugs. Like, if everybody can readily get what they need at a like a dispensary or whatever, all those fucking drug dealers are gone, man.
Yeah. And then the crime based around those drug dealers and the dealings there.
It's exactly what I'm saying.
That's gone. It's dissipated. Now it's always going to be there, especially on the fringes of society. You're always going to have that.
You can mitigate how bad it is.
Absolutely. And I 100%, I'm full on that. And hopefully, listen, I would love to know what you guys think about that too. Do you guys think that we're did you stop listening because you don't agree? I mean, that's very possible. You could have done that.
Or did you just stop listening because we're so far off topic right now?
I mean, we're still kind of on it, but or do you agree with us, or if you have a different point of view, please let us know. But let's just have a conversation about it. That's what I want to do. I don't want people getting so like. I actually had a conversation with someone today, and I'll make this real fast, and then we'll get back to this. But where they were talking about politics or whatever, and he's like, oh, I'm not a political, I don't do it at all. But he's like, my parents aren't even going to vote now because they don't know who to vote for. And I said, dude, whoever is going to win is going to win, because people are still always going to vote because of emotion.
Yep.
They're going to vote emotionally. They're not going to vote cognitively. They're going to vote out of emotion because I hate this person or I hate this person. And then they're going to just turn around and their vote is going to go to them. So people need to think cognitively about things and use your fucking brains. That's it. Okay.
That's a tall order these days.
Yes, sir. Well, it's getting worse and worse too. We are living in, what's that damn movie?
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy. We are living in that right now. So I'll get off my soapbox. All right. So sorry. So
so sorry.
Yeah, so sorry. So he was, basically he couldn't justify the murder, so he didn't want to show them those other ones, which is really fucking weird when you think about it. Like, where he's just like,
yeah.
So first of all, then why did he kill those 4 people then?
Right. I was wondering that as well before we went off on that. So that was one of my questions too, is like, well, if he can't justify it to himself, why did he kill him? Like, what was the
right? So now you have buyer's remorse because you fucking, you know what I mean? You killed somebody and didn't have a reason to do it. That means you're even worse of a fucking person. So
yeah. So
the victims that were found were exhumed and returned to their families, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's good. That's closure, man.
Right. On February 18th of 1984, Hansen was convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison, plus 461 years.
I don't know why they do that shit.
It's because they stack things.
No, I mean, I get it. I understand the process, but at that point, like, why?
Well, because
just
from what I understand, when someone's given given life, sometimes you get life, with a chance for parole or life without, and all these different things. But when you have life in prison, you still can do certain appeals and shit like that, and you can get what is that called? It's the relief. I can't think of what the fuck the name of it. And everyone out there probably knows what it is. But anyway, so the reason they stack them and make it so extraneous out there is so there's no getting out. Not that he should ever get out, because this guy going in front of a parole board, you know what I mean? They're just going to be like, no, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
So he was initially incarcerated at the United States Penitentiary in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, before being moved back to Alaska and jailed at Lemon Creek Correctional Center, then Spring Creek Correctional Center. On May 11th, 2014, he was moved to the Anchorage Correctional Center to receive medical attention for undisclosed lingering health conditions. He died on August 21st of 2014 at Alaska Regional Hospital due to undisclosed health conditions. And he had a DNR set in place, a do not resuscitate order on his life.
Good. Fuck that guy.
Fuck him for sure. So now his modus operandi here, as we talked about here, I'm not going to go through this whole thing. He basically targeted what he thought was the bottom rung of society.
That's a pretty common theme.
Yeah, a lot of serial killers have done that too. I mean,
especially when they get started, like that's how they start, because they, it's an easy way to kill somebody who's not going to be missed.
Correct.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. they're not going to be missed. And, and if they are, then it could be anybody because of what they do. And then no one's going to look into it. You know what I mean? It's fucking turd. So known victims. Let's see here. We'll go through this real fast here. Well, not real fast, but you know what I'm saying. So December 7th of 1960, a victimless arson. Okay. This is when he burned down the high school. So this is literally, I have all his shit that he's fucking done. In 67, several victimless thefts. Then let's see, several the thefts, and he got busted with an unnamed prostitute who he raped but did not kill, and then an unnamed housewife attempted to rape. That's the one where he only got 6 months for it. Right. And then let's see here, 1971, Suzanne Susie Heppard. She was 18, abducted at gunpoint, and she was rescued. Cindy Paulson, we talked about her, abducted and raped, and she escaped. And on December 19th, Patricia Ann Roberts, abducted, bound, and raped, and she was also released. Because remember, he said that he released like 30 of these women.
Yeah, if they went along with it, he'd let them go.
Right. How in the fuck did he not get caught before that?
After 30. Like how? I mean, I get that there's the whole like they're afraid and they're embarrassed and I definitely get that. But out of the sheer number of people he did that to, you'd think that at least one or two of them would have said something.
Yep. Let's see. 1973, Megan Emmerich, who was 17, she just disappeared. And let's see. 1975, Mary Kathleen Thill, 23, just disappeared. And this is before he stole the fucking chainsaw and got the year in jail for that. So 2 women that he was associated with had disappeared prior to that. And then there was a staged burglary, which we talked about, where he got the money for that. And then another woman disappeared, Roxanne Eastland, 24, Joanne Messina, 24. She was shot with a 22, stabbed in the back. The Annie one we talked about, Uklutna Annie. I think I'm horrible at that, reading those the names. Let's see. Lisa Futrell, who was 41, her body was found on May 9th of 1984. Sherry Morrow, 24, she was shot 3 times in the back. Andrea Altieri, I don't want to mess her name up. Altieri, I think that's what it is. She was 24. She just disappeared. Sue Luna, 23, just disappeared. Paula Golding, 17, shot 3 times in the back and redressed post-mortem. He redressed her after the fact. So in other words,
there's something just way more creepy about that.
So he put her out. Remember how we were talking about that he would take them out in his plane? Mm-hmm. They were naked when he did this. Mm-hmm. That is, there's Cindy Paulson attempted abducted, raped, and tortured and escaped. That's the girl. Sorry, I misspoke earlier. Robin Pelkey was found in April of 1984. She was 19. Delynn Sugar Frey was 22. Let's see, Teresa Watson. She was between 22 and 23. Angela Federn, who was 24. Tamara Pedersen, 19. And then other victims both killed between 1980 and 1983. Malay Larson's 28, and then an unidentified victim. This motherfucker was just a horrible piece of shit.
He's busy, man.
So the Alaskan Triangle remains one of the most enigmatic and intriguing regions in North America. While some incidents can be explained by natural causes or human error, others continue to defy easy explanation. The blend of harsh environment conditions, rich folklore, and the possibility of unexplained phenomena makes the Alaskan Triangle a unique area of interest for both researchers and enthusiasts of the mysterious. Ongoing investigations and advancements in technology may eventually shed light on some of the enduring mysteries of the Triangle, but for now, it remains a region where the boundaries between the known and the unknown continue to blur.
And now, boys and girls, it's your favorite part of the show, the movie review. Which top 10 movies will make the cut today?
All right, so for the movies today, we're actually going to be talking about, there's not really a lot of horror today, not a lot of horror movies about from Alaska or whatever, but these are 12 chilling polar horror stories.
Oh, okay. Polar horror stories.
Yeah. So the first one on our list is from 1951, The Thing from Another World.
Oh, yes, the original, the OG.
Yeah, I did not know. Is this... Hold on, let me read this here. So, though rightfully eclipsed by John Carpenter's far superior remake 30 years later, I did not know it was a fucking remake. Get out of here.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't know that until like just now?
Just now. Yeah, I swear. Yeah.
You're learning a lot today.
I'm learning a lot today. The first thing movie is a chilling bit of Arctic terror in its own right, an adaptation of a horror novella from the late 30s called Who Goes There. This black and white creature feature eschews.
You got it right the first time.
Is it eschews?
I believe so.
Aren't those nuts that you can get and like come in a little tin?
It's a cashew.
Oh, yeah, you're right. The titler thing's shape-shifting abilities that Carpenter would later successfully bring to terrifying life. Instead, a group of scientists and servicemen discover a crashed craft near the North Pole and must try to survive when the creature inside, a monstrous alien plant in the shape of a man, oh, it's a plant, okay, hunts them down inside their outpost. It's a less subtle sort of polar horror than many of the best examples of the subgenre, Jesus, but it does feature one of its hallmarks, an isolated group of trapped people blaming and turning on each other. But of course, the real threat here is the killer plant man, who was also sort of a stand-in for communism. Oh, that's crazy. I had no idea that was actually I had no idea. Yeah. So number 2 on this.
I actually just watched that one not that long ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have never seen that one. Obviously, we are going to talk about it.
It's not bad for an old black and white movie, you know?
It holds up still?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Good. Next one is, of course, The Thing from 1982, though it bombed hard when it was initially released, and that's because they put it up against fucking Alien.
I thought it was E.T.
Was it E.T.? No, it was another Alien movie. I don't know which one it was.
I thought it was E.T.
It might have been. And nobody wanted to see this one because they didn't want to watch a horror movie after watching the other one. Yeah, so maybe it was E.T. So Carpenter's take on The Thing is now widely regarded as one of the best movies ever made, not just the North Star of polar horror. The film placed number 118 on Sight and Sound's extremely prestigious list of the 250 best movies, and it is awesome. And I just watched this probably about, 4 months ago.
We just made the kids watch it.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's such a great movie. You guys probably know what this one is. Let's see here. Then we have the X-Files Ice, which I'm assuming is an episode.
I've never seen that one. I haven't seen that one.
Originally intended to be a cost-saving bottle episode, this first season X-Files episode would end up wildly exceeding its budget.
No, you know what? I do know this one because it's essentially a Thing episode. It's like a little, it's like a little parasite that gets into him.
So, though it lacks the gory blockbuster effects of The Thing, the paranoia that ensues as Mulder, Scully, and the various researchers attempt to determine who among them might be infected by the worm is clearly inspired
it's like
by
a little
film.
worm.
Yeah.
Like you can see it moving in the back of their neck or whatever. That's how they know if you have it or not.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
Then we have Twilight Zone, Cold Fusion, which I'm assuming is an episode of Twilight Zone. And if I'm not mistaken, is that our... Hold on. It is. It's Sean Patrick Flannery's in it.
What? Really?
Yeah, no shit.
Twilight Zone?
In the Twilight Zone. Yeah, that's crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Twilight Zone used to be a TV show from way back, the 50s or 60s? And then they rebooted it. This had to have been that one. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Oh, is this the reboot?
Yeah. It would have to be
it's a
with him in it.
reboot episode. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that's why I was really confused about the Sean Patrick Flannery thing.
Then we have Black Mountain Side from 2004. This
Black Mountain what?
Black Mountain Side.
Side, okay.
Mm-hmm. This indie Canadian movie is very clearly indebted to The Thing, and while the limitations of its minuscule budget, lackluster actors, slow to a fault pacing, and a lack of score don't put it anywhere in the same league as Carpenter's classic, Black Mountain Slide has moments that will make your spine tingle. The setup is familiar at this point. Researchers at a remote Alaskan outpost make a discovery, unwittingly unleashing something that causes them to turn on each other. Yeah, there you go. Next up, we have Alien versus Predator. Hated this movie.
I didn't mind the first one.
I wasn't a fan.
The first one was okay because I feel like it's just that mindless, like, all right, this is fun, whatever. It is what it is. But then the rest of them were bad, dude. Like Requiem was so bad. Like it were bad.
The new one, by the way, the new Aliens that's out, or Alien, whatever it is, that's out right now. Everyone's raving about it. They're saying it's great.
Oh, I was gonna say, have you seen it?
I have not seen it yet. I plan on seeing it soon.
The same guy that did that one did the remake of Evil Dead like years ago or whatever.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, which is really fucking good. And for me to be happy about a remake of Evil Dead is.
It was good. It was good.
It's gotta be good.
It was definitely. It was weird. Oh, by the way, dude, I watched. Have you? This is totally not on topic in any way, shape, or form, but shocker. I sat down the other day and I haven't really like watched a movie in a long time. Just,
Yeah.
you know, so I watched The Fall Guy.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's awesome.
Is that like a remake from the TV show?
Not really a remake. They have
Just like based on that, basically?
I would say so because I'm not. There's a little a treat at the end of the movie. Just watch it way past the credits, like a post credit like scene. Just watch it. It's awesome. Yeah, super good.
I've heard that one's pretty good too.
It's so good. I was very, very shocked by how much I loved it. I literally was like texting, I think Logan actually, and I was like, dude, I love this movie so much. I think I'm just going to rewatch it right now. Like it was just awesome. So yeah, AVP sucked. Next one is The Last Winter from 2006. Alien
Never
Things from Another World are one sort of scary. Climate Change is another. Ron Perlman and Connie Britton star in this apocalyptic piece of polar horror about oil drillers and environmentalists who are way up north when the Earth releases long frozen forces. The Last Winter makes exceptional, terrifying use of the vast, empty white canvas that is what? Oh, they have a typo in here. That is the Arctic, populating with the hoofed horrors and the looming concern of what could happen in real life when all this ice melts away. The Last Winter is probably the hidden gem among all these recommendations. Okay. Next up, dude, fucking great movie, 30 Days a Night.
I was going to bring this up earlier because you were talking about Barrow, Alaska. That's where that movie takes place.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
It says here too, a real place that is called Utkajavik.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. So this movie, honestly, if you guys haven't seen this, it's in Alaska. 30 Days of Night pretty much nails it right there. And vampires are there where they can just freaking feast for 30 days without sun.
It's such a great premise.
It's awesome. Next up is Fortitude, which looks like it's a TV show. The Titler Norwegian settlement was established some time ago. And when these...
You keep pronouncing it Titler?
I don't want to say titular. I don't want to say that. It sounds weird.
It's titular.
It sounds weird.
Titular.
This titless.
It's tittyless.
This tittyless Norwegian settlement. The 30 season, it's a British series. Starts out, seems nice enough, if a little insular, but as is the case with so many examples of polar horror, this place is not somewhere people are supposed to live, no matter how long they've been there. The constant cold and darkness are always threatening to creep into the veneer of civilization that's been constructed on this island. And when the ice starts melting and people begin to go insane, to say nothing of how crazy things get after the first season, it feels chillingly inevitable. Oh. Ooh. Yeah. Then there is The Terror Season 1, which is just another TV show. Then from 2020, The Head.
Okay.
It's perhaps harsh, but not unfair to call The Head a sort of light True Detective Night Country. Okay, which, by the way, that is amazing. And they have it on here, that True Detective Night Country. That was awesome.
I heard is that the newest season?
Yes.
I heard, but besides the first one, it was like the only good season.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It had Jodie Foster in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then last but not least, The North Water from 2021. If one of the selling points of the Terror was how hostile it made the Arctic before adding supernatural horrors, another AMC show from a couple years later plays the premise coldly straight. There are no ghosts or monsters to be found in this 5-part series about a whaling ship in the 1850, beyond those aboard the ship and darkness of their souls. Colin Farrell plays a psychotic harpooner who is at odds with the protagonist, the ship's surgeon, who has a grim past of his own. With all the murder, rape, and seal clubbing, there's no need for occult horrors.
It's like, I don't know. Those words sound funny together. Psychotic harpooner.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like something I'd be into, honestly. It sounds kind of boring, to be honest.
Dude, I just watched this movie about a psychotic harpooner. And you're just like, well, okay. Like, well, sure.
Did you say poon? All right, so there you go. That is the Alaskan Triangle and the disappearances, the craziness, along with the fucking horrible serial killer and so much more. Do us a favor, make sure to stop over to our official website, the midnighttrainpodcast.com. At our website, you can buy some super sweet merchandise.
Super sweet.
Where you can find all kinds of cool shirts and stuff, and you can sign up for $5 a month to get all the bonus episodes. by becoming a producer of the show. You can go to the midnighttrainpodcast.com or go on over to Patreon at patreon.com/the Midnight Train Podcast. And help the show. Tell us that you love us. Get the bonus episodes, which we've got this crazy one that Moody's wanting to do coming up soon.
Yeah.
So do us a favor. Become a diehard Midnight Train fan and help produce this motherfucker. That's right.
Or instead of becoming a diehard fan, just become hard.
Jesus Christ. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and we post shit up there all the time, like videos and whatnot. I got to start putting more shit up there like that too.
Yeah, you do, but you don't care about the fans.
Yeah,
so.
fuck off. And if you listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever the hell it's called, do us a favor, leave us a review, 5 stars, whatever the top part you can do wherever you listen, and you can say whatever the hell you want. You can just say Moody is shirtless.
Yeah,
right now.
Do that.
Just say
I am shirtless.
He is shirtless. Yeah.
You guys are missing my nipples.
Oh boy, I don't think. Or you're not titless, are you?
I am definitely not titless.
So listen, we cannot thank you enough for all the love and support we've received. You passengers, keep this train chugging along. Thank you all so much for listening. You have no idea how much it means to us. A huge, very special thank you to our fearless executive producer, Patreon first class passengers, the poopers, if you will. To Chelsea Benz, Timothy Moore, Jacob Knoll, Ms. P, Cassandra Fuentes, Jacob Peters, Stoner Babe 69, Tim Karras, Zoe Miller, Tracy Valancourt, Edgar Rodriguez, Jenny Wynn, Riley with no last name, Chris Connors, Amanda C, Micah Purdue, Dale Wells, George DeJesus, Megan McTerry, Amanda Denz, Chris Lucas, Joseph Aramo, Nathan Diekman, Caitlin McKinney, Maggie Brothers, Rick Resler, Miles Campbell, Brian Gunsman, Pumpkin Escobar, Mac Doherty, Janet Sherrill, Chad Flint, Chris McLeod, Justin Kowalczyk, Christina from the Sister Skeleton podcast. We miss you. Maria Gibbs to Chainsaw.
What the fuck?
He stopped in the other day. Good to see him. Courtney Batchelor, Katie Brabenik, and of course, our boy, Bill Birch.
Oh, good for you.
So do us a favor, spread the word. And if you want your name to be mentioned on the show and for us to be forever grateful because you're giving us your hard-earned money because you're like, wow, these guys need it more than I do, become a Patreon producer. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
That'll be wonderful.
So do us a favor.
That.
Yeah. Stay safe out there, passengers. And as always, until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and never stop seeking the truth.
I always fucking forget about it.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers!
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Just get hard.